Good morning, traders. Chris Buss here with your midday market pulse update for Thursday, October 29th. Okay, it's 11:45 as I'm starting the video, and let's see what we can find. Not a whole lot to report, but maybe a few things of interest to some of you folks that are actively trading this morning. Okay, SPY 2-hour chart. We had laid out the fibs on the move yesterday. We had said that 330 was going to be your first line of resistance, and then the 3850 and 618 fibs lie above. And you can see here that we took a look below on the first opening candle here, and then reached back above and reclaimed yesterday's low. If you got long there, that was a nice entry. And now we've reached up with multiple candles up to 330 and have not been able to take that out. You can see it here more clearly. We've got this boxed in region from yesterday's long consolidation after the breakdown, and then we had the final liquidation candle, and then this morning a look down and recapture. But this trading range has contained the multiple candles that have tried to break above 330, and at least at this point is holding. Now, if you've been biding your time and you're not in, then I would say, if you get a break above 330, that's your objective long. I probably really wouldn't try to play the downside today. We're oversold. We've got tech earnings tonight. Those names seem to be holding up pretty well. So I don't see a lot of downside risk at this point. Of course, anything can always happen. And if you did get a break below this box, you can, try something. I don't think the odds favor it at this point. I think if you're intent on trading SPY, I would wait for this breakout here above 330, and then you can shoot for 332 and possibly 333 up here at this 50% retracement. Qs have made a little bit more progress. You can see I've got the fibs drawn in. It gapped higher in the morning and has made it up to the 38% level, where you can see that price has been stopped thus far. Let's look at the 30-minute chart. It's clearer. Move it here to the center of the screen. Here's your gap higher, your break above 275, and the progress has slowed since the last few candles right here at the 38% fib level. Now your next upside target is 277, which coincides with several things. We've got the swing low from Monday, I guess it was. We've got the 50% fib retracement. And what I did was drop in the midpoint of this channel. At least it's approximated. It's right in this neighborhood. That will serve as a resistance level as well. So it would take quite a pulse, quite a push to pop this 277 level with the 50% fib, the midpoint line, the swing low. But if it did that, your next target would be the bottom of the gap here at 279. Moving on to IWM, really not any progress at all. It has made a reach up towards 155, but that was repelled, and really no advance has been made this morning at all. You can see here on the 30-minute chart, we are still well within this prior gap area between 154.50 and 153. Took a deep look below this morning and found a level down here at 150, 150, but then quickly recovered it. So as it stands now, we are trapped in this little trading range here. If there was to be a breakout above 154.50, your target would be 155 at the gap. And then, of course, a move above the gap entry would favor a gap fill. Excuse me. Hard to see that happening. You know, I think people are really leery at this point of, you know, the back to normal COVID trade, which is this value trade. Plus, you know, there's no big movers in this index like there are on the Qs. So there's no, you know, 5 names that are going to really drive price action. So this one in particular needs to move as a sector, and you can tell that there's just not a lot of energy behind it at the moment. Facebook, nice morning. You recall back here was the gap higher on Snap earnings, and then this gap higher is likely attributed to PINS, P-I-N-S, Pinterest, that is up a phenomenal amount this morning. And so this gapped higher and is pushed up towards this 282.50 level, had a reach higher and then has since pulled back there. If you had, you know, gone long this morning or had been real fast on the draw, there was 3 5-minute candles that were red this morning. If you had bought that, then you had gotten a nice push there. It was a nice trade. Not an easy one to take, but if you were in it, that was a nice trade. Apple, again, gave a nice, clean, sweet entry today. We had talked about the recapture of 113 with our target being 115, and that trade worked beautifully. We got a gap higher in the morning, and then a push right on through 113. That was your entry, and then your target was 115. Whether you decided to just take it off at that point or you're still long, that's totally up to you. But for right now, then, if we were to get a push above 115, your target would be like 116.50-ish on a close of this gap that I don't have marked in here. You can see the gap down from yesterday. So your target would be the Tuesday close, which is right here about 116.50. Tesla also gave a nice entry this morning. We talked about 410 as the pivot. Open below, crossed above, that was your long. And the last time I looked, it had reached up into the low 418s, not quite making 420. So if you were long and took it off, you know, that's great. You made $8. And if you're still long, you can look for that, you know, final push into the day up to 420, or, you know, your stop is just below, or if you know, trailed your stop wherever you had placed it, then you'd be out of that trade. But 410 has worked great as a pivot. Microsoft, deader in the doornail, nothing going on there. Just, you know, earnings are out of the way and still in a downtrend. Bounced up from yesterday's closing low, but no real trade to make there. Amazon as well has been flat this morning. Got an initial push up to our pivot point at 3,200 and has been repelled ever since. So that line is growing in importance. You can tell all the reactions along the line that, you know, with each touch, that line gains more importance. So tonight, if there's some, there's going to be a reaction. Who knows what it might be, but in all likelihood, you would get a gap higher, just jump clean over that, up into here somewhere, or if there's a problem, it's, going to gap down, I would imagine. So anyways, speaking of earnings tonight, if you're trading these names, I don't know how you handle it, but start formulating your strategy for how you're going to approach it, and implement your plan, whether you're going to hold your position if you got long or whatever you're doing today, or going to implement some kind of option strategy with the earnings play. Make sure you have all your ducks in a row, before the bell, of course. Google had a little gap higher. This entry was all dependent on how you chose to play or not play. You could have bought the open with your risk yesterday's low, which I calculated to be about $6, or you could have waited. You could have waited until this prior support level had been taken out, and that would have been a very nice entry. And you've got about let's see, 520 to 560. You had a touch of this 50% retracement, which was $40. So that was a great trade. If you took that, that was an awesome trade. So now it's all about the gap. If it can make a move in, or if it just hovers here below until until earnings. But a good strategy at this point, if you had gotten long, would be, and if you want to stay long, would be to roll up your strikes at this point, or tighten your stops really close. You don't want to give that back. So take some of this to the bank, and you can stay long and hope for a gap fill, or do whatever you're going to do for earnings. Netflix, back at the bottom of the box, tried to make a run at 490, but I beg my pardon. It never. That was yesterday's final candle, I believe. But anyhow, right back at 480 at the bottom of the box. Should that break today, then your first target is 475 and your second target is 465. Looks pretty weak at the moment. And notice this can really help you in your day trading strategies, and obviously trade whatever time frame you're trading. But what do we always say? A PPO rollover just beneath the zero line is a bearish move. So the posture of this PPO, because it has already put in the bear cross, is a bearish posture, as is the RSI. So that would give you additional confidence that if this 480 broke, you may be in for a longer downside ride than normal, because now your momentum is rolling over, and that will give added power to any down move that you may see. So watch your indicators when you're trading your individual time frames. XLK bounce. It's all about tonight after earnings. Industrials have been weak. They lost yesterday's low and trading below. So right now the door is open for a move down to the 200 and possibly lower there. So I don't know if you want to take that trade, or wait till the election risk clears. But right now, technically, it's a sell against yesterday's low. XLY, same deal, trading below yesterday's low, and that's mostly because Amazon isn't doing anything or slightly down, and your other names in the indexes not doing that great. So there hasn't been the the positive Amazon move to counteract any weakness in the sector. So trading lower, looks like it's headed towards the September lows here at 142.50. But of course, this will do a moonshot tomorrow if Amazon gaps up to any large degree. Gold down again 0.5%, working its way down to this 174 level, still in bear mode. Silver, bear mode, not as bad, but still down. Here in the middle of the range, there's no trade to make. We've got to wait until we get a move down to 20.5, or if it recovers. But this would be an odd place for it to just stop and reverse. I think it's gonna eventually come down here to this 20.5 for a test of that level. Gold miners, a little bounce back day. I don't know if it quite reached the 200, but certainly getting a bounce right there, like it had support there, and then back up to resistance now at 37. Point to note, if gold gets its footing and the miners can break back above this 37, you could put together a tight long on the miners against 37, but I'd kind of like to see the metal reestablish itself against some support to give this more of a chance of really making a move up here back towards 40. But that would be your target there at 40 on a break above 37. And if you wanted to take that shot, you could certainly put that together with a very tight stop against just below 37 if you wanted to give that a try. But I'm going to hold off. Okay, that's all I've got, guys. Not a massive amount going on, at least at the index level. You've got Pinterest flying around. You've got IPHI, the stock that Marvel has bought out. Those two stocks are moving around. There's always stuff going on under the surface. It just depends on how you want to look for those and trade those. And of course, if you're long any of those, long or short any of those names, then of course you'll have them in the crosshairs and know what to do. And speaking of that, if you'd like me to review any stocks that do a chart workup on any stocks that you're interested in, or any sectors that you're interested in, I'd be happy to do that for you and then feature it in a video and a blog post down the road. I am putting together a sector summary of housing. I think they're home builders. I think there's quite a bit going on in that sector, and although we keep hearing in the media how great housing is going, that may all be true, but if you take a look at the housing stocks, they're looking quite soggy, and may in fact some of them be shorting opportunities going forward. So I will put together that, hopefully get that done today or this evening and have it for tomorrow. But other than that, let's see if we can get a push out of the FANG names that are reporting tonight and give you guys that are long QQQ a nice ride into the close. That would be nice. So If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking in. Please hit the subscribe button and the alarm bell to be notified of all my new content. Look over in the show notes for links to the blog site and to register for my content. That way you'll get a nice and neat email each and every time that I publish, and you won't miss a beat. And also you'll get an invite to our trading room where you can join a bunch of good traders and good friends over time. It's a great way to not only expand your playbook with new ideas, but also to expand your trading network. And for us at-home traders, it's always nice to have a community to lean on when we're either celebrating a nice win or feeling a little bit down when we've had a bad stretch. So please join us there. It would be my pleasure to welcome you into the group. This has been Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass. Talk to you next time.